I loved this movie. K-Dog's movie review. War of the Worlds is directed by Rich Lee and stars Ice Cube, Eva Longoria, and Eamon Benson. A grounded sci-fi film in the vein of District 9 that touches on themes of privacy versus surveillance. Okay, new War of the Worlds film. Now, this one takes sort of the different filmmaking perspective, similar to, I think it's called like Searching or Missing, Unfriended, some of those other technology based movies where everything it is from the perspective of computer or phone screens. Now, they use this premise because it was filmed in 2020 during the pandemic, so everyone could be in separate locations while doing it. And on the surface, I kind of like watching these types of movies. It's cool to see something different every once in a while. Ever since they were introduced, I appreciate this style of filmmaking, seeing everything from the perspective of technology, because that really is our lives these days. If a movie can tell a story, an engaging one from that perspective, I'm fully on board. Having said that, it's so terrible. I absolutely love this movie. It is the biggest piece of shit I've seen in a long time. Amazon made this movie, and you can clearly tell because Amazon saves the day multiple times. If you played a drinking game where every time Amazon is mentioned in this movie, you'd probably die. This review is going to contain spoilers. I don't care. The greatest thing about this movie, honestly, I love this movie. There's so many good things. But one of the great things about this movie is that it's a solid hour and a half, hour and 30 minutes. I think that's with credits. That's perfect. It's just the amount of time that I need to just sit, watch something mindless. Basically, the premise is Ice Cube works for the Department of Defense or Security or NSA, one of those organizations. It's his job to basically assess threat and monitor everyone all the time. This is one of those big government oversight movies where technology is out of this world surveillance wise. Everything is connected to the mega machines that the government owns. He can hack into his children's phones, cars, building systems, any aerial drone or any traffic light, anything that is hackable. Even a fridge, it's mentioned in this movie, is hackable. And he can see through the cameras that are weirdly located on the inside of the fridge. It's one of those everything's hackable movies, and it just makes the story absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, Ice Cube plays this dude who is constantly creeping on everyone, including his children. And during this creep fest, an alien invasion begins. Now we have a lot of the classic War of the World stuff where they're like big tripods and they're making loud sounds, but it's all done from the perspective of drone footage and cell phone cameras and like little CCTV cameras and things like that. Half of this movie is just, not even half, I'd say 90% of this movie is just Ice Cube reacting to it, reacting to terrible CGI footage of these alien ships destroying the planet. It's so wonderful. You can easily tell that he had no idea what he was supposed to be looking at when filming this. They kind of just said, look surprised, Ice Cube. Just look surprised, and we'll insert stuff later. And so, like, most of the shots are just of his face just looking surprised. I mean, if anything, this movie just makes me want to not support Amazon more. Like, it's so laughably bad how atrocious the consumer marketing ploy is for this movie. Okay, Amazon, we get it. You're a multi-billion or trillion-dollar company. Like, we don't need advertisements in the middle of your film. Okay, how do I get into this review? So, as I said, Ice Cube is creeping on everybody, including his children. His children don't necessarily like him because he is so overly creepy, because he hacks into cameras and their cell phones, and he's literally just like looking in on private conversations that they're having with their spouses, or looking at camera footage from the schools that they are attending, watching them walk to class and go to work and such. And he's able to hack in at any time to anything. And so, the first like 15, 20 minutes or so are just establishing our characters and how creepy Ice Cube is. We start the terrible plot with these meteors coming down to Earth and these strange weather events. And The first thing that the NASA expert decides to do is go in and try and touch these meteors and what's inside of them without gloves on. And that's when you know that the script is absolutely bonkers and stupid. But anyway, she does. Aliens start erupting, blah, 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 blah. They start destroying the planets. And it seems as if they're going after particular places. Now, what's found is that the aliens are actually these tiny little insects that are feeding off of our data. Now, they don't really go into what data is or what they're actually consuming, but they're consuming our data. It's literally eating away pictures on Facebook, text conversations, audio messages between people that exist in the cloud and on the internet. And so they are literally feeding on our data. I get it. It's during the pandemic. Everyone's relying on technology, but it's just so on the nose. They say the world will go back to the Stone Age without our data because everything is hyper connected. Almost on a sci-fi level. I mean, with the amount of power that Ice Cube has, it's absolutely ridiculous. And so the world tries to combat these aliens, with U.S. military, big bombs, all that kind of stuff. And like for 20 minutes, it's just Ice Cube reacting to the military shooting stuff. And in the meantime, calling his children and trying to save them in the process with his hacker surveillance skills. Most of the time, it's just him saying, yeah, get some, alien. Took out your ass, huh? And just him saying these things as aliens get bombed and as the world gets destroyed. So he's sitting there on his computer yelling, get your ass, while also having the crazy hacker skills to just like look at someone's face, determine their phone number and all of their information. Seeing a Tesla in the middle of the road, being able to hack it remotely and send it to a particular location, basically as a taxi service for his daughter who has been injured during all of the destruction. Oh, and I forgot to mention at the very beginning, they were trying to deal with this secret hacker that was trying to reveal to the world what the government is really up to. Now, of course, Ice Cube works for the government, so he's trying to take this guy down. They don't know who he is, and at the same time, the son keeps trying to tell the dad something, but the dad's not listening. And Ice Cube keeps telling his son he needs to get a real job and stop just living in the basement of his house and blah 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 blah. And so you already know where it's going. The hacker is revealed to be son. The message of this movie is all over the place because what ends up happening is the hacker's son reveals to Ice Cube that the government, which is already way too OP in this movie with the amount of technology access and surveillance access they have, and hacker skills and just ability to do whatever they want with technology. It's revealed that the government knew about these data aliens, and instead of trying to wipe them out or anything, the government just kind of pushed it under the rug and instead tried to come up with an even bigger data mining process where I think it's like one throwaway line. They say we'll be able to read people's thoughts or something like ridiculous. We'll be able to do anything we want with them. Ice Cube is offended by this. Bro, like what? Like you spy on your children. Why are you against this? I mean, I get that he would be upset that the government knew about the aliens and didn't really do anything about it, but the spying stuff, like you already do that. And it's so funny because, when the movie's over and Ice Cube has saved the day, the president wants to hire him to be in charge of another surveillance system. And of course, they try to wrap everything in a nice bow. The guy, the Secretary of Defense or whatever is like, we're coming up with a surveillance system that doesn't intrude on people's lives. It's like, okay, government guy, sure. But anyway, Ice Cube's response is that there's more important things in life than checking what's in people's Amazon carts. They're trying to say that looking in on people's lives is bad when looking in on people's lives is what saved the movie and what like allowed him to save his children multiple times. So the message is kind of all over the place. Without that crazy OP technology, his children would be dead and the aliens would still be data mining pictures of cats and such. Now this movie with emotions is so funny because it kind of tries to be like serious and silly at the same time with like the destruction of the world. The city that the daughter lives in is like blowing up. The aliens are attacking it. And she's like on the ground bleeding and actively dying. And Ice Cube is like, why didn't you invite me to the baby shower? And even the daughter at that time is like, do we really have to talk about this right now? It's like the movie is winking at the camera saying, yeah, we know this is like terribly inappropriate for this, but we need an emotional moment, so we're going to throw it in anyway. It just made me laugh. I think this movie is very self-aware. It knows what it is. And at a later part in the movie, Ice Cube thinks his son is just blown up. He's not. He happens to be in a different house because his son is a crazy hacker as well, and all of the son's friends have just died. But once it's revealed that the son is okay, he just kind of laughs it off like, you knew I wouldn't be in that house, right? Even though his childhood home just blew up, and Ice Cube is like playing it off like a joke. I don't have alien insurance for that. Dude, like the emotions are all over the place. Okay, let's just get to where Amazon saves the day. So because everyone is super connected and OP in this movie, the son is the super hacker, Ice Cube is also a super hacker / surveillance guy. The daughter is going to school, works for the school or something, is some kind of biologist, and she's coming up with some sort of cannibalism cell thing. So what they do is they just combine everyone's talents and say, let's hack the data miners, the aliens, with this cannibalistic virus. So it just eats itself and dies. I mean, this is a sci-fi movie. Basically, we'll call him the son-in-law is a Amazon driver, of course. Oh, to heal the daughter from bleeding to death, the son-in-law uses Amazon tape, and he's like, I got this. This stuff works well, and just wraps up this massive wound that she has, and she's like actively bleeding to death and almost dying. Her heart rate's way too high. He keeps just looking at her heart rate, Ice Cube, and saying, it's too high, it's too high. The tape just magically works. He seals the wound. Off screen, the son-in-law says, it's all set now, she's okay. And later on, she's like, fine. She seems fine. She's like not pale or anything. She's just, she's not running around, but she's seemingly fine, and it's never mentioned again anything about her leg and being injured. So Amazon driver tape magically cures this person. Basically what they need to do is they need to upload the virus into the mega surveillance system that the aliens want, that the government has been working to create, but didn't tell the main surveillance guy about for some reason. And so to get a hold of that virus and transfer it somewhere else, Ice Cube needs a USB stick or some kind of thumb drive. And of course, in the movie, this very techie guy just says, oh, I don't have one. I don't have access to one. And then the son-in-law Amazon delivery guy goes, oh, I know what we can do. They decide to use, and they clearly call it out several times, they use the Amazon drone delivery service to send a USB thumb drive to Ice Cube. And it's seen as such a heroic and smart idea in this movie. It's just laughably bad. Even at one point, the guy is like, oh, you need to activate your Prime or something, or initiate the delivery in order for it to go through. And like you see him log into Amazon and click on it. It's so ridiculous, just Amazon sucking its own dick. So Amazon is going to save the day by delivering this USB thumb drive across the city through all of this crazy explosions with the aliens invading and everything. So the Amazon drone delivering the stick eventually gets hit. It gets knocked down and it gets flipped. And so he can't fly it anymore. He's like, I need to flip it. I need to flip it. And they see this like seemingly homeless guy sitting in his tent freaking out at all of the destruction happening around him. And using the crazy hacker skills that Ice Cube has, he figures out that guy's phone number by just like looking at him on the screen. Like a little box appears and then the guy's phone number appears. So then the daughter starts texting him like, hey, you, go flip over that drone. And the guy is like freaking out. He's freaking out about all the explosions around him. But he looks at his phone and he's like, no, it's too crazy out there. Like, I'm going to die. So they're like trying to come up with a way to like, convince this guy. Ice Cube's like, tell him we'll give him internet free for a year. And the guy's like, no, the government will spy on me with free internet. Meanwhile, the world is like exploding. Everything is blowing up. Do you really care about free internet in that moment? So the guy says, of course, no. But he doesn't say no because things are exploding. He says no because he doesn't want the government spying on him. Guess was kind of funny. Not really. They come up with an even better plan. And the better plan is to offer the guy a $1,000 Amazon gift card. And the guy then says yes and flips over the drone. So the guy who doesn't want to be spied on by the government by using the internet will gladly instead use the biggest online retailer in the planet. A planet that's blowing up, by the way. So he agrees to it. Amazon saves the day. They get the USB drive into the big surveillance government system. All of the aliens suddenly die, and the world is saved. Amazon saved the day. Please purchase Amazon. Amazon is so great, isn't it? Isn't Prime just so wonderful? And to wrap up this movie, Ice Cube started writing an email, basically, a if I die email to his children. And big shocker, he ends up living. And the email is read by his children. Now, it's supposed to be this like very touching thing about how hard it is to be a parent and how he lost his wife and how all he wanted to do was protect his children and watch over them so that they're okay, and how proud he is of them and what they've accomplished and blah, 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 blah. Now, at the bottom of this email, he attaches pictures of them. Now, instead of nice pictures of when they were together as a family or when they were children or something, he attaches pictures that he screenshotted while creeping on them. Weird drone or traffic stop footage, out of focus, black and white camera shots when clearly they didn't know they were being watched and he was creeping on them. It's so like weird and creepy and like tone deaf. It was just awesome. I absolutely loved it. This movie is incredible. I absolutely loved it. This is an abomination. Honestly, if this movie didn't go straight to streaming, I would buy a 4K Blu-ray of this. It's so laughably terrible. It makes me want to cancel Prime. Oh, and the editing at the beginning it's migraine inducing. I had to pause it a couple times because it's just so fast with all the quick cuts. It might be my favorite bad movie of recent experience. It's so terrible. I might watch it again. Okay, I think I've ranted enough about this movie. What did you guys think of War of the Worlds? This might be better than the Spielberg version. Yeah. Whatever that director's name, I've already forgotten it. Get out of the way. Get out of the way, Tom Cruise. Ice Cube's coming. And he's here to stay. Please consider subscribing to the channel. It really means a lot. Till next time.